As you can see, we have some churn on the outside of Finish Line is Concrete Cat. There you see Finish Line on the right and Pipeline Express on the inside. And Concrete Cat is on the very far outside. So in your picture, we've got Pipeline, Finish Line, and Concrete Cat. Just listen to the throttle man doing his job right here in Pipeline. Rich Dancision doing a great job on the throttles for Pipeline Express. We've got some good racing, and as you can see, it is very rough, so we expect to see a lot of flying today, and the throttle man will be playing a pivotal role. Here we have C41, the Pipeline Express. This is a 30-foot red and white Shadow Cat powered by twin 500 horsepower Chevy inboards with Mercruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Bob Shug of Lavallette, New Jersey, and on throttles, as we indicated, Rich Dancision from Palm Rivers, New Jersey, and David Koch from Bricktown, New Jersey is your navigator. Antonio Mendez from Seaside Heights, New Jersey is a chief crew member for Pipeline Express. C41, the Pipeline Express race team from Newburyport, Massachusetts. Pipeline Express enjoying a good run here at this point in the race. And now we're coming up on C5, the boat known as Finish Line. This 30-foot Chris Craft is powered by twin Bandit racing engines with 500 horsepower apiece. This boat is collectively owned by Jimmy Della Terza and Joe Calabro. This boat is driven by Sam Cesario, throttled by Joe Calabro. Two-man race team making up the Finish Line race team. Your head crew member is Jimmy Della Terza, along with Robin Della Terza, Brian Moran, Carolyn Moran, and Joe Gartista, all hailing from the New Jersey area. The Finish Line race team, they're the 1986 Northeast champion runner-up and they're the kilo record holder at 90.545 miles per hour in the B-class division. Finish Line race team, they've had some help here to get here today, and that help has been provided by Essex Locksmith, Gaccioni, radios by Motorola, Doliti Auto Parts, and Benzel Busch Mercedes. Now we come up on D19, the American Express race team. And on the far outside of him, you see Concrete Cat race team. But we're going to stay with the American Express. And there is a sailboat in the middle of the race course. This could be indicative of the fact that these boats might be off course, but we're not sure, because you have to ask yourself, what is that sailboat doing in the path of these race boats? But right now, we're going to stay with D19, American Express. This is a 30-foot white Chris Cat powered by twin 650 horsepower inboard motors with Mercruiser drives. This boat is owned and throttled by Jimmy Kazani of Jamestown, Rhode Island, and your driver today is Lanny Dillinger, also from Jamestown, Rhode Island. The number one crew chief is Carl Windsor from Jamestown for the American Express race team. This boat is meticulously maintained by Carl Windsor and Bob Votolato. Thanks to Bill DeBetti and his family and crew for all the support that they've lent the American Express race team. To correct that, that's Bill DeBetti and the entire family and crew for the support that has all gone into making the American Express race team a successful offshore race boat for the 1989 campaign. great shot. You've got Kazani on the throttles right there. Look at him work that right hand, working that throttle lever. And Dellinger is doing a great job driving. Dellinger and Kazani with a real up-close look right there in the American Express race cockpit. As Pipeline Express goes under the freeze-frame video helicopter, we now pick up and generosity in making the concrete race team part of the success story that they are today. The team of Tresh, Lewis, and Brodkin are doing a great job, and Ray Bud Tresh is a very fierce competitor, and they do want to repeat their championship run from 1988. That was some stuff right there, potential hazardous stuff that has been averted. You saw them come way off that wave. They came far out of the water, but they were able to maintain the boat and come right back. You know Tresh wants to repeat and be a two-time champion here in Massachusetts for this race. He will take on all comers, and you just saw a good example of the fierce competitive nature of the Concrete Cat race team. Now we come up on C46, the Bustin' Out race team. This is a 30-foot Chris Craft powered by twin 500 horsepower Pro Marine race motors with a 1,000 horsepower total. This boat is owned and driven by Joe Sangiovanni from Brick, New Jersey. On throttles, he's got Ralph Papke, and Ron Clune is the navigator. Your chief crew member is Jim Creel. This boat is rigged by Pro Marine and the motors by RC Motors. They've done a great job. The combination of Pro Marine and RC Motors have really come together to help make Bustin' Out the successful race team that they plan on being for the 1989 campaign. Joe Sangiovanni, who could forget his illustrious race career in the Little Rhino race boat. Sangiovanni having a great campaign behind him, and he's come out now with this new boat, Bustin' Out. This boat is sponsored by RC Motors, Pro Marine, and One Special Evening, who have done a great job in helping Joe Sangiovanni rebuild the former Little Rhino race team to come out in the Bustin' Out race team. Earlier on, you did see the Hydrotech race boat, and they are in the Pro Stock class, and they're dueling it out with Concrete Cat and Hydrotech right now in that division. Right now we come up on a very fierce competitor who's enjoyed many, many years of successful offshore powerboat racing. B1, the 28-foot familiar all-yellow Manta known as Fever Race Team. This boat is owned and driven by Joe Scrow. On throttles, you've got Joe Latona. It's co-owned by Joe Scrow and Joe Latona, I should say. It is being driven by Joe Scrow. Joey Latona is on throttles, and Jeff Catrone is your navigator. Joe Russo is a big chief crew member. Richie Zool is the engine builder. Jane McElhatton is a key crew member. And Kevin, better known as the Hammer, is very responsible for helping out this boat also. There you get a close-up look of the stacks coming off those Richie Zool motors. But do they put out a lot of power? Just listen to Latona go on those throttles and the power that these motors put out. Fever Race Team looking very competitive right now. They're going to be dueling with Stoneham Boat Center and Alliance in their class. Fever Race Team, they're the former 88 World Championships as well as divisional champs for 88. Some people who have lent a helping hand to Fever Race Team, they'd like to extend a special thanks to Diamond Fabricators and S&S Propeller and Al Groves. RC, and of course everyone at Richie Zool's shop who's done a great job. And of course Freeze Frame has gotten involved now on the list of sponsors helping out the Fever Race Team. Joe Latona, Joe Scrow, and Jeff Catroni making up the Fever Race Team. Ominous race crew. They really charge hard. Look at them take these waves. They're coming out of the water, coming back in, not letting off a bit. Latona has those throttles down. Scrow knows how to drive this boat. And both these guys combined know exactly what the limitations of this boat are. Fever Race Team enjoying a very fine run right there. From Fever Race Team, we come up on B43, the Alliance Race Team. This red 32-foot Hustler is powered by twin Bandit racing engines with 540 horsepower apiece. This boat is owned by Vince Guardino of Staten Island, New York. Driving today, he's got Gary Robin from Chadwick Beacon, New Jersey. Kurt Berger from Brick Township, New Jersey is on throttles. And your navigator is Tom Molis, also from Brick, New Jersey. Crew members of the Alliance Race Team consist of Steve Thomas, Ed Frownhouse, and Lee Jumano, who've done a great job in working on the Alliance Race Team. This boat is rigged by Kurtz Marine, and today it is being run by Kurtz Marine to help Vince, who has a very busy work schedule right now, and Kurt has done a great job in helping out Vince and the entire Alliance Race Team. From the Alliance Race Team, we fade into B71, the Shockwave Race Team. This sleek and very attractive 30-foot Mirage is powered by twin 575 horsepower Bandit racing motors, of course, from Kurtz Marine, the home of the Bandit racing motors. And they sound very awesome right now. They're looking very good at this point in the race. This boat is owned and driven by Rich Tropoli from Toms River, New Jersey. He's got Scott Langbine, also from New Jersey, on throttles, and Tim Sharkey is your navigator, with Tony Sauta, your head crew member. This boat is sponsored by Tropoli Collision, and they have a good bit of race history behind them. They're the former 1987 NPBA B-Class champion, and they've also won in their class the Trump War Offshore. So they've done a fine job, and right now, Rich Tropoli is running very competitively in his class. we come up on an A-class boat, A12, the MRD race team. This beautiful, sleek, 27-foot Carrera is powered by twin 375-horsepower inboard Mercury motors. This boat is owned, driven, and throttled by Robert Cardinal, and he's got Frank Cardinal, his cousin, as the navigator. Robert would like to extend a special thanks to his cousin Frankie, who's done a great job in helping him out in preparing this MRD race boat. MRD Marine, high-performance riggers on Long Island. There's nothing in the offshore powerboat business that MRD cannot handle. And they've done a great job in custom fabrication of all sorts of machine parts, boat parts, any high-tech thing that is needed for your boat. And they do it all at MRD Marine, exclusive high-performance riggers on Long Island. And right now, they put all that experience and technology into their own race boat, and they're enjoying a very fine run right now in A-class. They're dueling with Deuces Are Wild and Snakebite in the A-class of this race. Right now, let's take some time to just update some of the other classes while we stay with the MRD race team. As we said, Snakebite, MRD, and Deuces Are Wild are dueling in A-class. Stone and Boats, Joe Latona's Fever and Alliance, who you saw earlier on, are dueling it out in B-class. C-class, Pipeline, Inferno, busting out, going head-to-head. Too early to call right now. American Express, Lethal Weapon, and Boat Chopper dueling in D-class. Stock class, you've got Insanity, JB Express, Sneaky Pete sneaking in there in third place in the stock class, all running very competitively. Now we come up on a familiar name, the Great Adventure Race Boat, B-54. This 31-foot Sutphen is powered by twin 370-horsepower Merc Cruiser inboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by a very familiar racer to us all, Bill Gazelle. And on throttles today, he's got Gary Artman, and Dave D'Ambrosia is the navigator from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Bill Gazelle hailing from Bricktown, New Jersey. The Great Adventure Race Team, what can we say? We remember some of his great national championships from 10 years ago. And after a 10-year hiatus away from the sport, he has come back and he is running very strong right now with the same name but a different boat, Great Adventure. Bill Gazelle would like to expend a special thanks to Arnold's Yacht Basing, Rick Jedro, Zip, Larry of Fun Boats, and the girls, Sue and Jennifer. He feels very attached to them, and all these people behind the scenes have done a great job for Great Adventure Race Team. And of course, Arnold's Yacht Basin, who's done a fine job in helping to sponsor this boat. Bill Gazelle, a former three-time national champion in the prime of his race career, has come back, and right now he seems to be a little off power. Could be some mechanical failures, but obviously with all the experience behind Bill Gazelle, he'll get it worked out, and if not in this race, you know he'll be back for the rest of the 1989 campaign. And right now, according to our calculations, he is one of the few boats who are presently running on course the way it should be. We're not 100% sure, but some of the other boats, based on our coordinates, did seem to be running off course. We'll have to get some further updates on this as the race progresses, but Bill Gazelle and Great Adventures seem to be right on the money. Now we come up on C-32, the Crazy Cat Race Team. This is a 24-foot skater powered by twin 2.4 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and throttled by Brian Dovzak, and your driver today is George Peterson. Who could forget George Peterson, the famous freeze-frame East Coast rider? And he's been around for many, many years, and Peterson has teamed up with Dovzak now, forming the Crazy Cat Race Team. This boat is rigged and maintained at East Coast Marine in New York, and Freeze Frame has helped out with some sponsorship on the Crazy Cat Race Team. George Peterson and Brian Dovzak are a tremendous racing crew right now. And right now they've aligned themselves, and there goes Air Ride on the inside. Crazy Cat going right by the Air Ride Race Team. However, they are in different classes, so it's not really a problem there. One is... Now pick up S14, the Sneaky Pete race team. This 24-foot skater is powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Steve Lotito, and Peter Graves is your throttle man. Lotito and Graves making up the Sneaky Pete race team. As we mentioned earlier on in today's telecast, these are a local entry. They're from around here, and they're definitely one of the local town favorites, and everyone is pulling for Graves and Lotito in the Sneaky Pete race team. They're presently in third place behind JB's Express and the News, who you just saw earlier on in the Insanity race team. There you get an up-close look of those motors. The 200 horsepower Mercury outboards doing the job here today for Sneaky Pete race team. Well, at the present time, we've already gotten word that some of the boats have already finished and are in the winner's circle already. We're going to be staying with Sneaky Pete as he heads towards the start-finish flag, where we'll be computing the final results and bringing them to you for the Newburyport Grand Prix 1989. My vantage point right here, everything seems to be very clean right now. All the boats are in their own lanes, have their own natural water, and we've got the green flag, and we are racing. There you see it, Lucky Strike, middle of your picture, going out there quickly. Little Caesars hanging right with him, Fountain going with him also. Lucky Strike taking a quick lead, Little Caesars right there. Fountain Boat hanging tough, dropping back slightly. Little Caesars and Lucky Strike exploding at the start and taking the quick lead. Maxim on the outside is right there with Lucky Strike. Here comes Eric's Reality coming into your picture. What a story this guy's been. He's at 3 first place already this year, and he's definitely the boat to beat here today. And he's coming into your picture. Fountain dropping back a little. Eric's Reality going up. There's Hawk Marine Power right there in your middle of your picture, running with the Fountain Boat. And here it is, the long-anticipated arrival of the new Jesse James. It is finally out here, and today it's his maiden voyage. We wish Chris Lavin and the rest of the Jesse James crew nothing but the best in their new conquest. And there's Eric's Reality. Maxon on the outside. Little Caesars, Lucky Strike. Eric's Reality coming up with this group. Maxon takes a quick lead. Eric's Reality hanging tough with Lucky Strike right there. That is your lead group. Maxon taking a quick lead. Eric's Reality right now in second place. And Lucky Strike dropping back to third place. Very good start right now. And Little Caesars is back in the picture. So I've got Little Caesars dueling it out for third place right now with Lucky Strike, and he seems to be slightly nudging ahead for third place at this point in the race. There's Jesse James right there in fifth place right now. Hawk Marine Power in the middle of your pack, dropping back slightly. Maxon's dueling it out with Eric's Reality, Lucky Strike, Little Caesars right now. And there's Spirit of America coming into the picture. Maxon and Eric's Reality right now 1-2 as they round the buoy. And here is the Maxon race team. This 35-foot TDC racing catamaran is powered by twin 800 horsepower Maxon motion inboards with Keykefer outdrives. There you see him dueling with Eric's Reality. The owner of Maxon is Tim Sasuli of Bernardsville, New Jersey. Tim is doing the driving, and on throttles he's got Harry Weltman from St. Cloud, Florida. What a duel right here going on right now with Eric's Reality and Maxon. Side-by-side offshore powerboat racing. This is some super stuff right here. These guys are going all out. It gets no better than this. The APBA providing the best offshore powerboat racing in the country, and it's all come together in Sarasota for today's race, and you're watching two of the best right now. And there's Little Caesars coming into the picture. Little Caesars overtaking Eric's Reality, charging past Sasuli in Maxon. Little Caesars, Maxon, and here comes Jesse James into your picture. What a pretty looking boat this brand new Conquest is. This boat has been in development for many years right now, in construction for a while. And it's finally come out here for today's voyage, and it looks very impressive right now. Jesse James. Little Caesars is running in first. Maxon is there. Jesse James has sneaked into third place. And here comes Spirit of America on the outside of Jesse James, looking very strong. He came right by Jesse, and he's on his way heading toward the lead pack. Spirit of America. The Spirit of America is a 35-foot Jaguar catamaran powered by twin 900 horsepower Gentry inboards with Keykefer outdrives. John Antonelli has this boat pegged right now. He's making a move, and he's blistering up the race course right now. There he is dueling with Maxim in the middle of your picture and Little Caesars on the outside. Antonelli really has this boat dialed in right now. John Antonelli is your driver from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And right now, the guy who's really got that throttle pegged down to the dash is Jack Clark from Pembroke Park, Florida, who's doing an excellent job right now. He's winding out these Gentry inboards with everything they've got, and they're producing. Just listen to this boat go. Now we're on chairman of the board race team. As they round that turn, you still have the lead group of boats, and Nuri Sabuchi has crept into it. Little Caesars is there. Eric's Reality is there. Maxon is still in this group. You've got Lucky Strike. We see Nuri Sabuchi's chairman of the board on the inside, Lucky Strike in the middle of your picture, Eric's Reality on the far outside, Maxon slightly ahead of them on the middle of your picture. Right there you see the rooster tail from them. So you've got Maxim, Eric's Reality, Lucky Strike, and chairman of the board, boat number 55. This is a 39-foot Cougar catamaran powered by twin 750 horsepower Lamborghini inboard motors with Keykeeper outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Nuri Sabuchi from Rochester, New York. Chairman Racing Corporation from Rochester owns the boat. Nuri Sabuchi does the driving. And on throttles, you've got Harold Stepp from Altamont Springs, Florida. There you got a picture of the lead group. Nuri Sabuchi's chairman of the board on the inside. Tim Sasuli's Maxim race team right there. Lucky Strike is in the middle of your picture, and Eric's Reality is on the far outside. Now we come up on Joey and Precious, East Coast Marine Race Team, M5. This 32-foot superboat catamaran is powered by twin 655 horsepower Lightning Performance inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. There you see him going by, I believe that's Ravon, a smaller boat. This boat is owned and throttled by Joey and Pressure from Amity Harbor, New York, and East Coast Marine. This boat is driven by Joe Detour from Ronkonkoma, New York. So, with Pressure on throttles, Joe Detour as your driver, they make up the impressive East Coast Marine Offshore race team. And this boat is putting on an impressive performance right now. Joey and Pressure, what can we say? He's been around racing for many, many years, provides a lot of knowledge and ability, and just some great sportsmanship out here on the race course. He's truly one of the best throttlemen in the business today, and he brings it all out here with East Coast Marine. Just look at this boat go. They're doing in speeds of excess of 100 miles per hour and just tearing up the race course. At the present time, East Coast Marine is running in first place in class, and not only running in first, but they seem to be dominating right now in the M class. Eastern Express Enterprise and Special Edition is hanging with them, but Joey and Pressure is just making it very difficult. Look at that close-up shot of those outdrives. Here you get some idea of a ground-level shot of just how fast this boat is moving. We're going well over 100 miles per hour, and Impression and Detour really feel comfortable in this boat. The Superboat Cat is doing a great job, and the motors are just responding to every command that Impression is making. They're dominating right now at this point in the race. Joey Impression East Coast Marine has also lent a great hand in helping out the Freeze Frame video staff, and for that we'd certainly like to extend our thanks and wish them all the best here today in Sarasota. Joey Impression at the present time is running 4th place overall in divisional points in his class, but that is deceiving because he's only entered one race, and that was in Marathon, where he took a 1st place, did not start in the other races, and he's come down here today for the race in Sarasota, and he's presently running in 1st place here. It seems that when Joe Impression puts his mind to it and brings the East Coast Marine race team to a race, he dominates as he has in the past. From Sarasota, Florida, Joey Impression is M5 East Coast Marine. Team Hydra, P99, this sleek, all-black, 32-foot Hydratech catamaran is powered by 3 250-horsepower Mercury outboard motors. And for the exclusive coverage of Team Hydra, freeze frame video exclusively using the 2 helicopter chute. As you can see, it enables you to view this racecraft from the starboard side as well as the port side. Freeze Frame, constantly striving to bring you excellent coverage of offshore powerboat racing. Right there in helicopter number 2, that is being piloted by Merlin Blythe. Tom Russell is the spotter, and Gary Johnson is the cameraman in Freeze Frame's number 2 helicopter. But right now the story is Team Hydra. This 32-foot Hydratech, being powered by the 3 250 Mercury horsepower outboards, is owned by Hydratech Powerboats of Brick, New Jersey. On throttles, you've got Gregory Young from Brick, New Jersey, and it is being driven today by Ed Jones from Union, New Jersey. Gregory W. Young from Brick, New Jersey is your driver of record. So you've got Ed Jones and Gregory Young on throttles, making up the Team Hydra race team. Team Hydra presently in 7th place nationally with point standings. They've had a 4th place finish in the first race this year, so they'd love nothing more to have a good finish here today and try to move up in the point standings. Don't forget, it is a long year, so every race helps. Just picking up those points is what's so valuable here today. One note also we'd like to add. For Team Hydra and the Hydratech Powerboat Company, they use the same hull as for the Hydratech Pleasure Boat versions, which feature full interiors with heads and king-side berths, as well as a 12x8 cockpit. So, Team Hydra, they can satisfy your race needs as well as your pleasure boating needs. There's an up-close view of the crew consisting of Greg Young and Ed Jones. From Sarasota, Florida, Team Hydra having a very fine run today in the P class. And there, coming into the background of your picture, is Freeze Frame's Copter number 1. This is being piloted today by Paul Barth, Jeff Girardi, our executive producer, doing the camera work, Castine taking still photos, and John Provenzano from the Heat Is On race team is spotting today in Copter 1. So there you've been able to enjoy the ride of Team Hydra, as well as the exclusive coverage of a 2-helicopter shoot for offshore powerboat racing. Jeff Girardi and Castine doing a fine job of video as well as still photography for Freeze Frame Video Productions. As a pace boat goes under a helicopter, there's Panama Jack on the inside, making a strong bid to take the lead. Fish Peddler is there. And taking the quick lead, it's Black Sunday. Black Sunday D2. It's a 32-foot deep V-bottom Scorpion powered by twin 650 horsepower United engine inboards with Mercruiser drives. That boat is owned by Laureano Morales from Miami, Florida. On throttles, he's got Fernando Morales from Miami. And driving today is Danny Martinez from Miami, Florida. And that's Hooters in second place, running out with Black Sunday. Black Sunday with a slight lead, and Hooters in second place. Now from the other side, there you see the view. Hooters with a slight lead. Sorry, Black Sunday with a slight lead, followed by Hooters, Enterprise, Fish Peddler. Panama Jack is running in that top group of boats. Very good start. Excellent racing right now. These boats have taken off. And running with Panama Jack is Freeze Frame's Copter number 2 with cameraman number 2, bringing you the best footage we could possibly give you, the viewer and race driver. Now we come up on D72, the Riva Photo race team. This is a 33-foot deep V fountain race hull powered by twin 750 horsepower Monster machine inboards with Keykeeper outdrives. This boat is owned and throttled by David Windmiller from Brooklyn, New York. Driving today is John Henry Falk from New York, New York. The team of Windmiller and Falk making up the Riva Photo race team. Windmiller doing an excellent job on the throttles right here. Definitely having a little rough ride right there. The boat got a little loose, went up on one side, then the other side. Definitely had to slow down right now. They seem to be okay. The boat held up, and they're back on course and charging hard. Definitely sends a little attitude adjustment through your body when you experience a jolt like that. But Windmiller and Falk are back online, and they're charging hard in the Riva Photo race team. These Monster machine inboards sound excellent. And Riva race team, David Windmiller and John Henry Falk would like to extend a special thanks to Pierre for his fabulous engines. And right now you get an idea of what kind of job Pierre has done with these Monster machine inboards. From Sarasota, Florida, we wish all the best to Riva Photo. Jack. This black and pink 31-foot Conquest catamaran is powered by three 265 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by John Carbona from Fort Myers Beach, Florida, who's also doing your driving today, and on throttles, he's got Terry Hill from Fort Myers, Florida. There you see the duel going on right now with Riva Photo and Panama Jack. Two classes in D division slugging it out right here. Top shelf racing right now between Riva Photo, the Fountain Deep V-boat, and Panama Jack, your 31-foot Conquest catamaran. Terry Hill doing a fine job on the throttling, as you can hear. Some excellent racing action already in the early stages of this race. Race team. This 33-foot deep V Excalibur hull is powered by three 220 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and throttled by Dan H. Rocco from Houston, Texas. Daniel C. Rocco from Webster, Texas is your driver, and David is Rocco from Holmes Beach, Florida is your navigator. So it's an all Rocco team making up the Borderline race team. C-Class is very competitive. Endangered Species, Lip Ship, Fish Peddler, just to name a few of the boats who are very strong. But right now, at this point in the race, Borderline is looking very good. Dan Rocco on throttles doing a great job. Daniel Rocco, the driver, really knows how to handle this boat. And David Rocco is doing the navigation. And in courses like this, navigators' role are sometimes overlooked, but it's very important that they line up the coordinates and get prepared for the next turn. The Roccos from Borderline Race Team seem to be enjoying a very good run right now, and the boat sounds very strong right here. Now we come up on Lip Ship, the boat that just passed Borderline, C8. There's a 24-foot skater catamaran powered by twin 250 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Michael Lipschutz from Cincinnati, Florida. Driving, you've got Ron Milligan from Cincinnati, Florida, and on throttles, you've got Milton Lipschutz, also hailing from Cincinnati, Florida. Lipschutz and Milligan making up the Lip Ship race team. Michael Lipschutz has been a loyal member of the APBA since 1966. That's over 20 years with this organization, so he's almost one of the charter members. Not exactly, but he's been with them for many, many years, so he has a lot of racing experience under his belt. So you can count on Lip Ship to have a very strong running here today. He'll be dueling with Fish Peddler and Endangered Species in the C class of today's race. on C100. The heat is on race team. This 32-foot all-yellow deep V Manta hull is powered by twin 650 horsepower Tampa Bay Marine Bandit inboard motors with Mercruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by John Provenzano from Tampa, Florida, who is also on the throttles. Driving today, we've got Gene Stevens from Tampa, Florida, and also from Tampa, your navigator, James S. Baker. So you've got the crew of Provenzano, Stevens, Baker making up the Heat is On race team, and they're looking very good right now. They're definitely trying to keep the heat on some of your boats in C-class, endangered species, lip ship, fish peddler, just to name a few who the Heat is On will be dueling with. John Provenzano from Tampa has an illustrious race career behind him. He's been racing on the circuit for several years now, a lot of experience, a very good competitor, and as you can hear, he's doing an excellent job on the throttles. So from Sarasota, Florida, we wish John Provenzano and the entire Heat is On race team all the best. Now we come up on Renegade Race Team A67. This is a 21-foot Rally Sport Deep V powered by a single 220 horsepower Mercury outboard motor. This boat is owned and throttled by Richard A. Houston from Valrico, Florida, and Mike Connor is his navigator today from St. Petersburg, Florida. Rich Houston is also doing the driving in today's race. A67, the Renegade Race Team. They'd like to extend a special thanks to Mike Connor, who's done a great job in helping them out and lending support to the Renegade Race Team. All levels of competition are very tight right here in this divisional racing, and we wish all the best to A67, the Renegade Race Team. Renegade Race Team moving along nicely. Coming in over the rake, the other wake there. The motor seems to be coming off the bracket. It slipped off the brackets. The boat veered very sharply to the starboard side. Tough break for Renegade Race Team. Both competitors seem to be all right. They're scrambling toward the back of the boat. Getting a line. They want to save that motor. They'll try to get a line around that motor and tie it up to the boat. Tough break there for Renegade Race Team. On the boat known as Rampage A9. It is a 27-foot cigarette with a deep V bottom, and it is powered by a single 480 horsepower Mercruiser inboard with a Mercruiser drive. This boat is owned and throttled by Robert Coram of Altamont Springs, Florida. Driving today is Ralph Hudson from Dadeville, Alabama. They would like to extend a special thanks to Graham and Marion Hudson for all that they have done in helping this team out. The Rampage Race Team enjoying a fine run right now here at Sarasota. They're dueling with Team Gulfwind, who you saw earlier on, who is having an excellent run, and Turn of the Century, who you also saw. Rampage Race Team having a fine run here today in Sarasota. We wish them all the best. Now we come up on A18, the Cascade Realty race team. This is a 24-foot cigarette deep V bottom hull powered by a single 275 horsepower Evinrude outboard. That was Hooters going by on the outside. Unofficially at the present time, we believe that they're in first place in D class. But right now it's back to Cascade Realty. This boat is owned and throttled by Steve Kildall of Sarasota, Florida. Driving is also Steve Kildall, and his navigator is Chris Dorigo, also from Sarasota. Steve Kildall is the owner of Creek Marine. They specialize in all-around boat rigging and maintenance. Creek Marine, they do it all. That big 275 Evinrude outboard is really doing the job right now for Cascade Realty. We wish them all the best. Steve Kildall, Chris Dorigo from Sarasota, Florida. It's Cascade Realty. Now we come up on Bad Race Team. This sleek, all-red 32-foot skater is powered by two Johnson V8 outboard motors with 400 horsepower apiece. This boat is owned and throttled by Bob Bear of Huron, Ohio. Bud Stevenson is your driver, hailing from Castalia, Ohio. Very good-looking boat here. The skater, a proven race hull, and they've had a great campaign so far. Bad Race Team looking very comfortable right now for today's race. They'll be dueling throughout the day in D class with Predator, American Express, Boat Chopper, Wild Turkey, who you just saw, Hydro Hoist, Lethal Weapon, and Gold Rush, to name a few in the very competitive D class racing. Now we come up on D31, the boat known as Boat Chopper. This is a 30-foot blue and white Shadow Cat powered by three 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and throttled by Leo August Jr. Driving today is Doug Bean, and Jason Bean is your navigator. This is the first race for this crew, but already the Boat Chopper has taken a third place in the Newburyport race just recently. They'd like to extend a special thanks to Rapid Sign, who enabled them to attend this race. Doug and Jason, the father-son team, took third nationally, fourth in the World Championships in Key West last year. You will see the Rapid Sign and Boat Chopper special at every race this year. So stay tuned for some very exciting, hard-charging racing from the Boat Chopper race team. You can count on it. The team of August, Bean, and Bean make up one competitive team known as Boat Chopper. Now we come up on A70, the Hypertension race team. This is a 24-foot red Baja powered by a single 365 horsepower Chevy inboard with a Mercruiser drive. This boat is owned and driven by Gary Felice from Voorhees, New Jersey, and Jack Stivali is your navigator. Stival and Felice making up the Hypertension race team. The first race for this crew was the Trump Castle, and they took a fourth out of 31 boats there. So for a first race performance in such a big national race, they were very pleased with it. And on the outside of Hypertension, that's Finish Line going by on the outside. But as we were saying, they felt very good with that fourth place finish at Trump Castle. So they're coming out here, they've got a race under their belt, and they hope to do better today, and they'll be dueling all day with Deuces Are Wild, MRD, and many other boats in the exciting A-class. Kamikaze. The Deuces Are Wild race team, A2. This sleek 28-foot red craft is powered by one single 500 horsepower Chevy inboard motor. This boat is driven by Joe Bonaduce from Somerville, New Jersey. On throttles, you've got Al Bonaduce, and Bill Flash Stable is your navigator of the Deuces Are Wild race team. Deuces Are Wild off to an excellent start right now in A-class. They're presently in first place, holding off a hard-charging MRD. And already, Snakebite is out of the race as they went around the first turn. So that's one very competitive A-class boat already gone to a victim of attrition. Tough break for Snakebite, but it's to Deuces Are Wild advantage. And Bonaduce certainly hopes to take advantage of it right now. This boat is sponsored by Webcraft and Price's Auto Wreckers. They've done a great job throughout the year, and they'd like to extend a very special thanks to Chet and Brad from Webcraft and everyone at Price's Auto Body for all of the help and support that they've given this team. Looking very good right now. They should definitely have a top 3 finish here today in class if everything remains the same. Unofficially now, they're running in first place, and we wish them all the best. From Point Pleasant, New Jersey, the hard-charging race team known as Deuces Are Wild. That's JD Express going by. Deuces Are Wild. Cutting in front of them now, JD's Express is on the outside. Deuces Are Wild on the inside. Great racing right here. Listen to that throttling. J&D Express, the 24 skater on the outside, NS boat. Different class boats here, so it's not really a problem, but it does make for exciting viewing when you do have several boats in the picture. Door-to-door racing, very comfortable right now. They're on the outside of your race course. That was a boat with the engine hatch up. Not sure who it is. Tough break there. But right now we're staying with a hard-charging Deuces Are Wild race team. Is officially underway. Pipeline Express takes a quick lead. Wild Turkey on the inside is going right there, hanging with them on the far outside. The Black Hydrotech is right there also. Very clean start. Right there in your picture, you've got Concrete Cat, Euro Marine Special, Lethal Weapon, the red boat is there. And coming up on the inside, we've got American Express. Euro Marine Special, American Express right here. Right now, we've got Wild Turkey and Pipeline Express on the outside. Super racing. Very clean start right now. Pipeline Express, C41. This is Bob Shug's boat. It's a 30-foot Shadow Cat. It's looking very strong right now. Already in 89, he took a first in Newburyport, a first in Point Pleasant, and a second in Freeport. So in C-Class, he is certainly a boat to be reckoned with. And now in D-Class, you've got the Wild Turkey Racing Team. This is the boat known D35. It is a 30-foot Chris craft, and it is powered by 2 Chevy inboards with Mercruiser drives. These Chevys have 500 horsepower apiece. This boat is owned and throttled by Frank Locke of Fairfield, New Jersey. Frank Locke Jr. is your driver, and Robert Lynn Wagaman is your navigator. The Wild Turkey Race Team. Pipeline Express, Wild Turkey, getting off to a very early lead. Different class boats, though. Bob Shug's Pipeline Express in C, and Frank Locke's Wild Turkey is a D-class boat. D-class, Wild Turkey will be dueling Offshore all day with American Express, a very strong competitor, and Riva Photo hopes to have a good day with these calm race conditions. In C-class, I'm sure it's going to be anybody's race. Finish Line, Panther, Harrods, and Pipeline Express are all in the running amongst the other boats. And going by on the outside, that's American Express. So you've got American Express going side by side with Wild Turkey. Close quarter racing right here. Two D-boats going at it and doing battle. Coming around the checkpoint right there, the first checkpoint. Oh my goodness, Wild Turkey coming very close to colliding with American Express. Very difficult to call who is at fault there, but it seemed American Express was on line. Wild Turkey veered over. I think unbeknownst to him, realizing what had happened, he had veered off, thus avoiding a collision out in the race course. Could have been a close call here. Lethal Weapon still hanging tough, and right there on the inside is another D-boat, D40, Hydro Hoist. So you've got Lethal Weapon on the outside, Hydro Hoist on the inside. Two D-class boats going right at it. Very competitive racing here. We've got some excellent competition through 89, and the boats are so evenly matched. And in the background, you see some of the many spectators who are lining the course here in Barnegat Bay. Right now, we're going to highlight D40, the Hydro Hoist race team. This is a 30-foot Chris craft powered by three 2.4 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Ed Riley, Joe Riley, and Doug Carmen. Ed Riley, your inspiration and driver behind this boat. On throttles, you've got the experienced Doug Carmen. Joe Riley is the navigator in this crew, and John Coughlin is the crew chief. This boat is sponsored by Hydro Hoist Boat Lifts from WD Marine in Freeport, New York. WD is the largest Hydro Hoist distributor in the Northeast, and Ed Riley would like to extend a special thanks to Joey Imprescia of East Coast Marine and George Peterson of East Coast Rider, who've done a great job in helping them out in the preparation for this boat. But the real story here is Ed Riley and everything that he's done to really put this Hydro Hoist race team on the victory map for 89. They've had a third place in Point Pleasant, and just recently they took a first place in Freeport, New York, putting them in a competitive points battle in D-class. From Barnegat Bay, New Jersey, we wish Ed Riley and the Hydro Hoist race team all the best. Is presently dominating the B-class. Right now we're coming up on a C-class boat, and on the outside, that was Ed Riley's Hydro Hoist race team. But we're going to stay with C777, Harris race team. This is a 30-foot well craft powered by two Offshore Performance 454 Chevy block motors with Mercruiser drives. This boat is driven by Mac R. Seelig from Abaston, New Jersey. Jason Seelig is on throttles. Jeff Seelig is your navigator. And Jerry Seelig is your crew chief. So this is the Seelig race family with Harris 777. 89 has been fairly good to them. They've taken a fourth place in Point Pleasant and a third place in Freeport. So they are in the points chase in C-class. They're dueling with Finish Line and Panther today in Barnegat Bay. One of Harris' 777 race team sponsors is Megabucks. They're the newest, most exciting progressive jackpots now licensed in New Jersey and Nevada. The company behind Megabucks is International Technologies, the world's largest manufacturers of electronic slot machines. So hopefully, as we wish for luck in slot machines, the Seligs in Harris are looking for some luck here today in Barnegat Bay. And of course, I'd like to extend a special thanks to Mobil Oil, who has helped out, and to Wellcraft for their new Kevlar racing hull, and to Chris Lasco and Bob Wallace of Offshore Performance for the spectacular job that they've done in preparing this boat. We at Freeze Frame would like to extend a special thanks to Mac for all of his help and that he's done for us and making us have very comfortable accommodations in Atlantic City for the World Championships. But right now the story is Mac Selig, who is the driver of Harris 777. And on the outside, that is Corvette Plus. The Seligs look very comfortable right now. They're running very... is in good control, good attitude right here. They seem very calm and comfortable and confident in the cockpit of this well-craft known as Harris. We wish them all the best here today from Barnegat Bay, New Jersey, as they duel with Finish Line and Panther here today. Harris 777s. This boat ready. Now we come up on P58, Wheels of Fortune. This is a sleek, all-white, 32-foot Hydratech, powered by 3 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Fred Snacky from Clifton Heights. He's got Jack Domick as his driver, and Fred is on the throttles. Wheels of Fortune are dueling with Hydratech and Euromarine. Just before you saw RC's MRD in the middle of your picture. But Wheels of Fortune are going by on the inside. Totally different classes of boat. Wheels of Fortune looking very strong right here. And they're trying to close the gap between themselves and the hard-charging Hydratech, who is in first place in Pro Stock. These 265 horsepower Mercury outboard motors are really doing the job for this race team. So as we're starting to come to the closing portion of the race, Wheels of Fortune, headed up by Fred Smacky, we wish them all the best. And also, it's Fred Smacky's Tire Incorporated has done a great job in the sponsoring ship of this boat to provide them with a strong 89 campaign. From Barnegat Bay, New Jersey, we wish Fred Smacky's Wheels of Fortune all the best. New York. The Radioactive Race Team. They're in a tight competition with Johnny Red, MRD, who we saw earlier on, and Snakebite in A-Class. These small boats take a pounding, as you can see right now. It's definitely some exciting racing, but it certainly takes its toll on the crew. And right there, it looks like Donald Coles, the navigator, is having a bit of a rough time as he seems slightly hunched over in his cockpit as the navigator right now. We hope it's nothing serious, and we wish him all the best as this race is winding down. Good look at that Mercury 2.4 outboard, doing a great job. A-Class, very exciting racing here on the APBA level. Who can forget some of those great runs of George Peterson's East Coast Rider? He really helped put A-Class on the map. And right now, Donald Cole seems to be having a bit of a problem right there. It could be difficult to navigate right now at the position that he's in, so we certainly hope that Frank Macri can muster everything up. He's going to have to do everything right now. It's a one-man crew right now. Macri is certainly aware of the condition of Coles, but right now there's nothing he can do. They're racing, it's a hard-charging group right now, and Macri's going to have to do it all himself. He looks down to see that Cole is all right. He's back up in the seat. He is hurting, though. We hope it is nothing serious at this point in time. And whatever it is, we wish him a speedy recovery. Donald Coles, a great trooper right now, hanging in there in the Radioactive Race Team. We wish them all the best, and we hope that they have a safe finish here in Barnegat Bay, New Jersey. The Radioactive Race Team. Coles continues to be slunched over in that seat. There you get a good up-close look at Donald Coles in the navigator seat, but Macri, hanging tough, continues to race on. True champion with a lot of grit right there in racing. Donald Coles hanging tough and looking very strong right now. And now we come up on the Showdown Race Team. This is a 32-foot all-red skater powered by 3 Mercury 2.4 EFI outboard motors. This boat is owned by Bill Matijovich, who is doing the throttles. Ed Halcomb is your driver and is also doing the navigation. Matijovich doing an excellent job on the throttling right there, as you can hear. As you can see, we've got a little more chop out here in this part of the race course, but certainly none to worry about. Showdown will be dueling today with Team Hydra and Talon Comp 37, who you saw earlier on in that exciting start. Showdown right now looks very strong. They've gotten off to a very good lead. They're well out in front of the pack, and they're running very strong right there, as you can see. A boat that has come up to challenge the Showdown race team on the inside is D44, the Lethal Weapon race team. And here they are, Lethal Weapon. This sleek 1987 41-foot Apache is powered by two Rogers Speed Shop motors with 750 horsepower each. A lot of power here. This boat is owned by Lester Carrillo from Sparta, New Jersey, who's doing the driving today. And he's got Billy Martin on the throttles, and Donald Purley is your navigator. This boat has had a very strong '89 campaign. They took a second in Newburyport, a second in Point Pleasant, so they certainly need to have a good showing here today to try to have a good standing in the final standings of their division. Doing a tremendous job of throttling. And right here you really see Lethal Weapon race team doing some exciting flying right there, as you can see, as they're rounding this breakwalk. Right now we're on D27, the boat known as BFI Systems. This sleek 39-foot white thoroughbred race hull is powered by two Mercury inboard motors with 750 horsepower each. This boat is owned and driven by Ron Greenwood. He's got Steve Stepp on throttles, and his navigator is Bob Riley. Joe Argusa is your crew chief. It's an excellent crew right now, and they're looking very strong right now. BFI Systems, the Browning Ferris Industries sponsored boat, has come out, and they're looking very strong right now. D-Class is going to be very tough today. You've got the hard-charging American Express, Lethal Weapon, Island Runner, Gold Rush. They're all going to be there, and BFI right now is in the hunt, tracking down the lead pack in his class. In some of the other classes right now, Joe Scrooge's Fever has already taken a commanding lead in B class. Chairman Jr. MRD, second to none, dueling it out in A class. Tough Enough still hanging in with Wildcat and Pipeline. Tough Enough you saw earlier on at the start of the race. Lethal Weapon looking very strong right now, starting to stretch his lead out in D class. Ravon, Fastlane, Insanity in Stock, Pro Stock, Team Hydra, who's in a tight duel today, with Talon Comp 37, who you just saw, and Showdown are dueling it out in Pro Stock. But right now, the story on the screen is BFI Systems. Ron Greenwood, Steve Stepp, and Bob Riley making up the BFI Systems race team. We wish them all the best from Buffalo, New York. Good-looking race boat right there. Calabro and Gertaza tucked in quite nicely in their custom-fitted racing capsules. And there you see them come out of the water, but not a problem. They feel very secure and comfortable in those racing capsules. They have a lot of confidence behind them, and they're running very strong right now. There you see them passing a smaller boat, and Finish Line, he's certainly on a mission today. They're running very well. Joe Calabro and Joe Gertaza, forming the Finish Line race team, are certainly having a very good run here today. That's second to none, the red boat on the inside that Finish Line has just passed. Now we're back to second to none. This is an A boat, A115. It is a 30-foot Checkmate powered by two Mercury inboard motors with 400 horsepower apiece. This boat is owned by Mark Tangus from Holmdel, New Jersey, and Tom Sugar from Wanto, New York is your driver. Doc Sanafilippo makes up the crew chief for this boat, second to none. Mark owns North Jersey Air Service Trucking. He's a 5-year veteran on the circuit. Tom of Tomahawk Interiors is doing the interiors and sponsoring some of the boat. Doing a very fine job right now. Mark Tangus, Tom Sugar making up the second to none race team. And slightly ahead of second to none, that's MRD race team. These are two A-class boats. You've got MRD second to none, and also in the hunt for things, but not in your picture, is Chairman Jr. All A-class boats. Some very good competition right now, and these boats are head-to-head right now. MRD on the outside of your picture right there, and the hard-charging second to none, who right now does not want to be second to none, who wants to be in first place, is doing very well. Second to none and MRD are locked in a fierce battle right now in A-class. Now we come up on S43, the Ravon race team. This sleek 25-foot black and silver Talon catamaran is powered by two 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and throttled by Milford Ingemort from Teaneck, New Jersey, and Kevin Brennan is his driver for today's race. This boat has been prepared, basically put back together, by Cody Marine and Dick O'Day, who are riggers of high-performance race boats in the New Jersey area. Milt Ravon having a very fine run, and he's locked in a fierce battle with Insanity and Fastlane in the overall points for stock class. So we'll just have to see how things wind out here today to see who winds up in first. Is it Insanity, Ravon, or Fastlane in the stock division of today's race? From Buffalo, New York, Milt Ravon. On the outside of your picture right there, that's the Gold Rush race team. Now we come up on the red boat, Rare Breed on the outside and Power Hungry on the inside. We're going to stay with B88, the Rare Breed race team. And they are in a hunt right now in B class with Alliance. Fever already taking the checkered flag, but Alliance and Rare Breed dueling it out for your second and third place finish. This 32-foot Tempest with a Kevlar hull is powered by two Chevy Bandit racing motors with 450 horsepower apiece. This boat is owned by Bill Gifford, who's doing your driving, and Bill Jr. is on your throttles. The Giffords making up the Rare Breed race team. Bill Gifford, along with Bill Gifford Jr., looking very strong right now, and Rare Breed is charging for the finish place flag today, and we'll have to see how it makes out for the second and third place in B class between Rare Breed, who you see in your picture, and the Alliance race team. From Buffalo, New York, it's the Giffords in Rare Breed race team. Now we come up on another strong competitor, B1, Fever race team. This all-yellow 28-foot Manta is powered by two Zool racing motors. They've enjoyed so many years of great racing, the Fever race team. This boat is owned and driven by Joe Scrow. On throttles, you've got Joe Latona, and Jim McElhatton is your navigator. Joe Russo, Richie Zool, and Kevin, who's better known as the Hammer, help comprise the Fever race crew. Fever has also been enjoying its success throughout '89. They've had a second in Newburyport and a first in Rochester, and presently they're running in first place in their class, dueling with Hustler and Kamikaze in the B class. And they're wearing that one for one very good reason, that they are the champs. They're the '88 defending world champions and divisional champs, the Fever race team. all from the New York area, so almost local waters for them. Not exactly, but they're very close to these waters, and they are used to running here in Freeport. Those dual motors are sounding very strong, as you can hear. Very competitive run right here by Fever Race Team, a true champion. A little earlier on, Joey and Pressure of East Coast Marine had a chance to speak with the Fever Race Team.
1989 Freeport Grand Prix. In Freeport, Long Island, New York, we have the Fever Boys here from the Fever Race Team. Probably one of the most potent boats in the B-class racing in today's APBA races. Joe, what's going to happen today?
Well, the way I figured, it should be a little bit rough, so we're gonna stay with the pack and see if there's a time that we can make a move, we're gonna make a move. But other than that, we're gonna stay with them.
What kind of competition you got today?
Basically Alliance, Shockwave, Hustler, B-52. There's a couple of real fast boats in the class, but after the last win, we feel that we have most of them covered, providing the water isn't too rough.
The Fever Boys with the leading edge out there in the APBA circuit running B-class. Thanks very much. Good luck out there.
Thank you,
On the outside of MRD, that's Pipeline going by. We've also got Finish Line running with Pipeline. Just going by there, that's Finish Line in your picture. On the very far outside of MRD. Obviously different classes, so certainly not a problem. And there is Predator coming into the picture. Predator, Pipeline, and Finish Line definitely in a pack of boats that are in the hunt. They're hunting each other right down right now and having a very good competitive race. Pipeline, Finish Line, Predator. Now we come up on Yes Express, B25. This 32-foot Cobra is powered by twin 550 horsepower Chevy inboard motors with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned by Rich Latta, who's doing the throttles. Stuart Smith is your driver, and Timmy Moots is your navigator. Earlier on, you saw the tough competition that Yes Express is fighting against, and that was B1, the Fever Race Team, who was on fire. But Yes Express seems to be looking very good right here. This 32-foot Cobra is a sleek-looking race hull. It has the Merc Cruiser power plants, the Chevy power plants, I should say, with the Merc Cruiser drives, and they're running very well right now. Rich Latta's Yes Express. They'd certainly like to have a finish here today at Freeport. They have not been in the money throughout '89, but they have been running fairly consistently, and they certainly hope to pick up on their performance here today in Freeport. B25, the Yes Express race team. Now we come up on D19, the American Express race team. This is a 30-foot Chris craft powered by two Chevrolet Offshore motors with 650 horsepower apiece. What can we say? The American Express race team for 1989 has enjoyed a perfect circuit. They took a first at Newburyport, a first at Point Pleasant, and a first at Rochester. That's 3 for 3, batting 1,000, and they certainly look to repeat here today. As you can see, the American Express race team is running very, very strong. This boat is owned and throttled by Jimmy Cesani, and Lanny Dellinger is his driver. Cesani and Dellinger making up the American Express race team. What a great year they've enjoyed. 3 first places. They've got a lock on first place in D-Class. And D-Class, as in B, is one of the more competitive racing divisions we have here. Besides them, you've got Lethal Weapon, Boat Chopper, Predator, Eliminator, ATEX Special, Riva Photo, WD Marine, Wildfire, and it's a very tough class, very competitive. But right now, American Express seems to be the boat that has emerged as the true champion so far in this class. A lot of these guys in class are gunning for him today. They certainly are the boat to be beaten in D class, so we'll have to wait and see how this race unfolds for American Express and the rest of D class. Now we come up on M66 Special Edition. This 30-foot Chris craft is powered by two Merc Cruiser inboard motors and Merc Cruiser drives. As you all know by now, it's a familiar boat but with a new owner. This boat is now owned by Barnhart, Don Alteri, Mario Leonelli, and Tom Palmiato. This boat is being driven today by Bill Barnhart, and John Salson is on throttles. Just recently, Barnhart took a first in New Haven under the USPBA race that was run there this past summer. It was a strong boat for D'Elia over all those years. Who can forget some of those memorable races that he had in this boat? And now, Bill Barnhart and the rest of his associates hope to pick up the winning tradition in this boat Special Edition. They certainly hope to campaign it in the championship status that it is accustomed to. From Freeport, New York, it's Bill Barnhart and John Salson in the Special Edition race team. Now we come up on B24, the Hustler boat. There's a 32-foot Hustler powered by twin Ritchie Zool motors. This boat is owned by John Gregorio of Linden, New Jersey. He's doing the driving, and on throttles he's got George McMeehan, and Al Malaza is his navigator, all from the New Jersey area. Hustler just recently took a second place in Rochester. A large part of this can be attributed to the great work that Ritchie Zool has done in diagnosing the previous motors and helping out with the brand new motors that they ran with in Rochester. This resulted in a second place finish for them. Hustler, feeling very confident with the Zool motors, are sticking with them, and they're running with them here today in Freeport. They're certainly holding the pace with Fever right now. They're dueling with Joe Scro's Fever Race Team and Kamikaze in the exciting B division. These Zool motors are really doing the job. It's been a great marriage with Gregorio and Zool, who've really formed a good partnership in helping out this race crew. Hustler Marine having a very fine run here today in Freeport. And McMeehan is doing a great job on the throttles. The Zool motors are responding to McMeehan's commands. Gregorio doing a great job as driving. And Malaza doing the job that he must do to be competitive as the navigator here today. The Hustler race team. Earlier on, Joey and Pressure from East Coast Marine had a chance to catch up with John Gregorio and get his thoughts on today's race.
What's going to go on today, John? And how's the boat and everything all set up? You ready to race or what?
Yeah, the boat's running real good. We got some tough competition out there with Fever and Alliance and Shockwave, but we feel we got everybody covered out there today. And I think Joey, the two Joes from Fever, are going to give us a hard time. There's some real tough competition. I think we got everybody else covered pretty well, though.
The Fever boys keep getting mentioned like they're the dominating power in the class. What gives them the advantage versus your boat? Why doesn't your boat have the advantage?
Well, I think they got a couple years experience. The crew's been together a long time. They got the boat dialed in real nice. And I think it's just experience over what we have right now. This is the second year for us. and we're learning, and they're giving us a hand, helping us out, and we really appreciate what they're doing for us.
Well, you got a bigger boat. It's a 32-foot Hustler, correct? They've got a smaller boat. We've got offshore conditions. This should give you an advantage, correct?
Correct. If we get some rough water out there, we might be able to give them a good fight out there. We're going to go out there and give it hell today.
I wish you guys the best of luck, and let's give those Fever boys a good race. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Joe.
Now we come up on the ATEX Special Race Team. This sleek, all-yellow, 37-foot Scorpion is powered by 3 small block Mercury inboards. The boat D12 is owned and throttled by Gene Janko, and his son is doing the driving today. The ATEX Special Race Team. They're running in D class, and it's a very competitive class. On the outside of ATEX Special, that is the Phoenix race team, who we just saw earlier on. Phoenix going by on the outside. Different classes, so it's certainly not a problem for either boat. Janko really has his work cut out for them as he duels with WD Marine, Boat Shopper, Lethal Weapon is there, the Eliminator, American Express, and some other boats. Going to be very tough racing here today, but Janko is looking very strong right now. We are coming to the latter stages of the race, so here's at the time when the boats are still running. It's time to put those throttles down and really make a move if you're going to do it. So Janko knows what he has to do, and he's going all out right now. From Freeport, New York, D12, the ATEX Special Race Team. And on the outside, that's Phoenix Race Team, still running competitive, and they're presently in second place in the Grand Prix division of today's race. A familiar name in racing, B33, the Kamikaze Race Team. This is Pat Lauer's crew. Today she's got 80 Maff driving, Robert Lauer, her son, on throttles, and Adrian Osteen is your navigator. Lewis Caswell, Tony, and Brian make up the crew. What more can we say? Pat Lauer has been racing for so many years. She's been racing actually since 1983, and she's really provided a lot of excitement for us. And right there, Kamikaze is flying, literally. And they are hanging on in third place right now in B class. This 29-foot Mirage is powered by 2 Chevy inboard motors. These engines were built by Roger Speed Shop, and Pat would like to extend a special thanks to her husband Bob for taking care of the business to enable Pat to come out here and race with the Kamikaze race crew. She's really been a great sport and really wonderful, hanging in there for so many years on the race cars. And now she's starting to enjoy some success in 1989. In B class, which is very competitive, she's presently and unofficially running in third place behind Hustler and Fever. So with so many boats in a very competitive division, Pat's crew on Kamikaze is enjoying a great day of racing here in Freeport. The Kamikaze Race Team. Plays. Very good run for them today. Congratulations to the Lauer crew. Now we come up on D17, the boat known as Eliminator. This is a 27-foot Eliminator powered by 2 Johnson outboard motors. This boat is driven by Al Rulo from Lake George, New York, and also from Lake George, joining Al today on throttles is John Fogg. The Eliminator race team having a very good day. D-class, very tough. They're running with WD Marine Hydro Hoist, Boat Shopper, and themselves right now hanging on for third place. Some of the boats have already finished, obviously, as you've seen Kamikaze cross the line. We're right now compiling our final results, but some boats are still out on the course and charging hard to make their move for the finish line. Eliminator was in a very tough class in D class. A lot of contestants there, and they enjoyed a very good run to hang tough unofficially in third place if everything remains as it is right now as they head toward the finish line. Those 300 horsepower Johnson V8 sound very strong right now. Great sounding motors right here, and they've done a fine job in propelling Eliminator to a strong showing here today in Freeport. Well, right now we're going to stay with Eliminator as they head toward the finish line for today's race. We'll be in the process of compiling our final results, and in just moments we'll be bringing you the final results of the 1989 Freeport Grand Prix. So now we're coming back and picking up the start of the classes 1, 2, and 3. Right there in your picture, it's freeze frame video. The black Superboat freeze frame. Great to see him racing again. Had a fine campaign in '82. And 7 years later, he's back. There's the Pace Boat. We've got freeze frame, air ride on the outside of freeze frame. Stoneham Boat Centers is there. Vigilante on the very far outside. Yellow flag is up. Everything looks good. The starter should like what he sees. And there's Kamikaze coming up on the inside of freeze frame right behind the Pace Boat. So we've got Kamikaze, freeze frame, air ride, Stoneham Vigilante. We've got the green flag, and we're off. Freeze frame and air ride going out. Kamikaze getting off to a great start. Freeze frame with a slight lead. Kamikaze hanging right with him, but air ride challenges freeze frame and is taking a slight lead over him. Stoneham going right out with air ride. And Vigilante on the far outside of the course running with Stoneham. Right now, air ride is taking the quick lead. We've got air ride followed by Stoneham, freeze frame right there with Stoneham and Vigilante. Clean start. Not too rough today, so we should have some very good racing. Pre-start. It's boat D71, the Air Ride race team. This is the 32-foot Superboat catamaran, powered by 2 Johnson outboard motors with 300 horsepower apiece. This boat is driven by Greg Sandinato. Alan Swyman is on throttles. Normally, their navigator, Big John McLeod, has done a lot of work on this boat, and unfortunately he couldn't navigate today because he has taken ill. So Jeff Sears from the Outrageous Race Team is navigating for Sandinato today. They would like to extend a very special thanks to the wives and to Jake's Restaurant in Hull, Massachusetts, and Network Finance. Air Ride is presently leading in Class 3. Now we come up on B27, Stoneham Boat Center. This is a 30-foot superboat powered by 2 Mercury outboard 2.4 EFI motors. This boat is owned by Tim Horgan of Stoneham, Massachusetts, and Andy from Linfield, Massachusetts is on throttles today. So you've got the team of Horgan, along with Andy, making up the Stoneham Boat Center race team. This boat is sponsored by Stoneham Boat Center in Stoneham, Massachusetts. Stoneham Boat Center in Stoneham, Massachusetts is a superboat dealer in the Massachusetts area, and they have several boats in stock, and they come out here and race the superboat to work out some kinks and just develop any technology that they can to give their customers all the tips necessary. Stoneham Boat Center doing a fine job right here, right now. Tim Horgan doing an excellent job driving this boat. They presently have a slight lead over freeze frame, about 150 to 200 feet right now over Jeff Girardi's freeze frame video boat, another super boat. Already this year they've taken a first in Newburyport, so they have some victories under their belt, and they'd love to have a good finish here today in Manhasset Bay. now, Stoneham's running very strong. He's going to be tough to catch. If he keeps up this pace, the other boats are really going to have to turn it up a notch to stay with him. Now we come up on the second boat in this class. It's B11, Freeze Frame. It's a 30-foot superboat powered by 2 Mercury outboard motors with 200 horsepower apiece. This boat is driven and owned by Jeff Girardi, who's also doing the throttles, and John Burrill is his navigator. Main crew members Castine, Willie, and John Denon have done a great job in helping Jeff prepare this boat. Who can forget this boat? He's the defending, actually he was the Northeast champion in 1983. Where he had such momentous battles with Dia Buckley in HMS Dia 1. Excellent racing provided by everyone. He entered the first race in 1984, and after that, he retired from racing for quite a while. He sold the boat in 1986 and purchased it back this year. After doing some work on it, getting some things done to it, and regrouping it, retooling it, he's back, racing once again in the true championship form that made him the champion in 1983. He's in a fierce duel right now with Stoneham Boat Centers. As you can see, the boat's looking very good right now. Jeff would like to extend a special thanks to his girlfriend Castine for all of her help and support, and to Joey and Pressure from East Coast Marine, Willie, and the whole East Coast crew, John Denon, and also to RC. We'd like to extend a special thanks to Panorama Signs for lettering the boat at the last minute. The boat is basically identical to how it looked many years ago. The only difference is there is back now, and Freeze Frame is back. You've enjoyed him over the last several years, where Jeff has put his talents and effort into bringing you some of the best offshore video possible. And this year he got the itch. He wanted to come out and race again to see if he had it as well as the boat. And right now he certainly looks very good. He's presently running first now. Stoneham Boat Center has had a problem, mechanical problem, that has put them out of the race at this point in time. Jeff Girardi has seized the opportunity, and he's presently running in first place in the Class 2 division of the USPPA here today. Castine's doing a fine job filming today. She's now the backup camera person for a Freeze Frame video, while Jeff is out here enjoying some racing. John Burrill, the navigator, hanging on. Jeff's got those throttles all the way down, as you can see, and doing an excellent job throttling and driving. He's a great champion, and he's back once again with a lot of experience, and he certainly knows this boat, considering he built it many years ago. Jeff Girardi's Freeze Frame is definitely back. As can be seen, they do have the technology, not only in boat racing that they've had for so many years, but also they have the technology now in the video. Freeze Frame, video and boat racing, that's what they're all about. Jeff Girardi's Freeze Frame is definitely back. They're still running for... Now we come up on A18, Island Performance. It's another Class 1 boat here entered today. It's a 21-foot superboat powered by a single 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motor. This boat is owned and navigated by Robert McCullough. And driving today, he's got Lee Gospodinoff from Greenwich, Connecticut. So the team of McCullough and Gospodinoff coming over from Greenwich for the Island Performance race team, doing a very good job. They took a first place this year at the Harbor Square race in Stamford for '89. So they have a victory under their belt, and they'd love to add to that here today. That was Peter Myers, Miss Lady L, on the starboard side of Island Performance. Island Performance rigs boats in Lindenhurst, New York, here on the island. So this boat has been prepared by them, and it looks very strong right now. Island Performance. Here you see the navigator doing his job. McCullough navigating for Gasparinov. You see the race course taped to the dash. He's lining them up, and they are on course and looking very good right now. They must make their move. The race is starting to come to a close, and he has to start making the move, as all boats must now if they're going to go for it. Great start so far. Now we're going to come up on Bad to the Bow and Race Team, M89. This is a 33-foot express